Greetings. I'm Reverend Jennifer Cormier, proud creator of this podcast. In my recent private work, I've been helping successful women to release the pressure they put on themselves so they can feel at peace and have way more fun in their lives. And this is exactly what we do in the Grace Collective, a virtual spiritual community of soulful, big hearted creatives who value authentic connection and joy. At the Grace Collective, we practice keeping our hearts open and our sense of humor in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Just like you, we've each moved through various life losses and we've risen up through the ashes. And we've risen up through the ashes. Greetings. I'm Reverend Jennifer Cormier, ceremonial artist and proud creator of this podcast. In my recent private work, I've been helping successful women release the pressure they put on themselves so they can feel at peace and have way more fun in their lives. This is exactly what we do at the Grace Collective, a virtual spiritual community of soulful, big hearted creatives who value authentic connection and joy. At the Grace Collective, we practice keeping our hearts open and our sense of humor in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Just like you, we've each moved through various life losses and we've risen up through the ashes. We're leaders, artists, healers, aunties, mothers, grandmothers who gather to heal, grow, and create together. We honor our bodies, the earth, and all beings as sacred, knowing that nature, friendship, and laughter are all good medicine for the soul. We meet at the intersection of spirituality, embodiment, and creativity as part of our activism and our legacy. So I welcome you if you are a soulful woman looking for more community, creativity, laughter, and fun. I invite you to join the Grace Collective. We're offering our listeners 1 month of membership as a gift. Visit www.gracecollective.us and check out the show notes for more details. I look forward to connecting with you there. Until then, I send warmth and gratitude from my heart to yours. Hello and welcome. We have Salima Adelstein with us today, and I'm really honored to have you on the podcast. And just thank you so much for your heart and all the work that you do in the world, Salima.
Oh, it's really my honor and privilege. I feel very humbled to be here today and to share what little I might have to offer to help your audience.
Yeah, yeah, we were just talking before I pressed record, and Salima shared, in addition to the bio I'm about to read, she also worked in special education and in hospice, working with children. So it's just, I just, I can feel the depth of all the layers of work that you've done through your life. So just honoring that as I share your bio with everybody. Just to get a sense of who Salima is. She's a Sufi spiritual guide, a master healer, and she serves right now as the co-president of the University of Sufism. Named as the only female spiritual guide in the United States in Shadhiliyya Sufi, the Shadhiliyya Sufi tradition, she spent over 35 years helping over 40,000 individuals heal from illness and lifelong emotional pain. She's founder of the International Peace Center and co author of A Drop in the Ocean of Love, She offers seminars nationally and internationally, where she loves to help people with the healing that comes from embodying the deep truth of the beauty of their essence. So, um, so Salima, the very first thing that comes to mind when I was just reading that bio is how are you the only woman? I mean, it's surprising and not at all surprising, right? Like, so would you just share because not everybody knows, could you just share a little bit about Sufism and your particular tradition and, and how you arrived at being the only woman? I don't know. That just struck me in your bio.
Hopefully, I'm not the only, I'm just the first.
The first. Okay, not the only, but the first. Sorry, the first. Yes, yes. Would you just share a little bit about that? Um, yeah.
Yeah, I really discovered Sufism um, just by accident. I had been in private practice as a healer and was studying with different people in India and around the world. And as I was doing that, I was learning more and more about my innate abilities to heal.
Hmm.
And I was doing a workshop in New Mexico at the time. I had just come back from India.
And
And
and what year was this?
oh God, 36, 7 years ago, a long
Okay.
time ago now.
Uh-huh.
And a friend of mine said, there's a Sufi master healer from Palestine, from Jerusalem, who's in town. You've just been to India studying with, maybe you'd like to go meet him. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, this will be fun, right? I'll really enjoy this experience. So I
Mhm.
went over to the house, and, right away I was like, I don't know much about Sufism. I
Mhm.
don't really. And my impressions were, well, this is Islamic, and I even know less about Islam.
Mhm.
So I had all kinds of what we might call pictures, right, stirred up in my mind about what that might be.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking in the yard, there's all these pictures of, not pictures, statues of Buddha in the yard. And I'm like, wait a minute, what statues of Buddha doing in a yard where I'm about to meet a Sufi master who's from Palestine? And immediately, like, my mind is going into this confusion, if you will.
Yeah.
I walk into the house, and this man who, I don't know, is tall, heavy set, dressed in what was called a jalaba, and classic Arab robe with a turban on his, and he gives me a big hug.
Mhm.
And he says to me, my holy daughter, I'm so happy to see you. And I'm like, well, this is a nice greeting from the host of the house, because certainly this can't be the Sufi master, because
Right.
the teeny bit that I know, and
Mm.
especially having been in India with a bunch of gurus where you namaste, there's no physical contact. A Sufi sheikh is not going to hug a woman.
Right. Right.
I sat down to listen to the teaching, and my eyes almost popped out of my head, because there he was. That was the Sufi master. And I'm like, oh boy, I'm in for a paradigm shift of my consciousness big
Mm.
time.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started, is really letting go and emptying myself of all that I thought I knew,
Mhm.
to be filled with this radiant divine love and light that in all my travels around the world I had never experienced.
Mm.
And when he gave me the Sufi name Salima, it means the one whose heart rests in the deep peace of God.
Mm.
I smiled and I laughed, because I said, that's not me. I'm an activist. I'm a rebel by nature. You sure you got the right name? And a friend of mine who was with me said, oh, that name suits you so well. And I was like, you must be kidding. Peace is far from my internal being. And he said, come and study with me in Palestine. He
Mm.
said, I'll teach you this Sufi way.
Mm.
Those 40 days that I was with him in Jerusalem
Mm,
totally changed my life,
mm,
totally transformed my whole way of seeing the world, and reminded me of an experience that I had when I was working in the children's hospice program with a little 4-year-old girl. And it all started to piece together and make sense. And I came back from Palestine and I said, everybody needs to know about this. This
mm,
is life changing. This is a way everyone should be living their life, knowing how much you are loved, knowing whatever happens to you, good, bad, or indifferent, there's a God behind it that only wants goodness for you. And how you open to those blessings
mm,
is just a gift that it's an old expression, but it's really true in Sufism that just keeps on giving and keeps on giving. We
mm.
call it a path of love.
Say
And
that again. You call it a
we
what?
call it a path of love.
Bath, a bath of love.
A
Yeah.
path of
Oh,
love.
path. I was like,
Yeah.
I was feeling the floating of the floating
Yeah.
piece, a bath, a bath. I
Yeah. Yeah, that's even better.
was like, oh,
I'll use that from now on. A bath of love.
I'm a water
But
person, so I'm picturing floating in a lake, but like
it
in
is.
my
It's like
yeah,
floating down river
yeah.
into and then melting into an ocean of love. I used to be a scuba diver, and
Mm,
one of the things I loved about scuba diving, especially the first time that I went scuba diving, I'm originally from the East Coast, so my first experience was in East Coast waters, which are not anything like the Caribbean. But when I experienced that first neutral buoyancy, neutral balance, where you experience when you're near the that place where everything just becomes one, right? It
mhm.
was so glorious in my being. I was like, how can I always have that experience
Yeah.
experience of unity? And it was just a momentary experience in that scuba diving time.
Yeah.
But what I learned in Sufism is it's not momentary.
Mhm.
It's something that we can continue to live every moment of our lives by purifying our heart, by finding those places of pain and separation,
Mhm.
those places of loss, and letting them go.
Mhm.
And what we say is lifting the veil. And basically what that means is just opening up so that you see what you read in the beginning in my bio. You see the beauty that you are inside. One
Mm,
of my favorite exercises to give the students at the university that I can share with your audience today is just a really simple exercise, but
mm,
it has profound effects on your being. And that is stand in front of the mirror, or
mhm,
you can do it with a partner,
mhm,
and just look in the mirror and say, when God created me, God created beauty.
mm,
And just notice,
mm,
am I able to say yes to that? If
mhm.
you do it with a partner, all your partner says is yes, okay. Whatever you might say, no, it's not me. No, I'm too ugly. No, da 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 da. All those things that we tell ourselves, right? Right? And you just keep on repeating it
Mm.
and finding the yes inside that
Yes,
knows that that's the truth of your being.
yes. That's so beautiful. What my computer is telling me that it's going to go to sleep if I don't plug it in. So I
Okay,
didn't
go
want to
ahead,
like
please.
rudely turn away from you, but I was like, oh no, I need the charger.
Yeah, well, please do.
Charge this here or else we'll get cut off. Um, okay, here we go. Real life technology
Oh,
moment.
yeah.
There we go. Okay. Um, I love that exercise that you can do with a partner or on your own.
It's
Yeah.
nice with a partner because you get that validation. It's okay, you know. And sometimes when we're grieving, those are the best words that we can say to somebody. It's okay,
Yeah.
right? Whatever you're experiencing, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we want to fight what is,
Right. Exactly.
and it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Just is.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, there was something I wanted to ask you about, and now that I needed to jump up and get the charger, I lost my I lost
Well,
my explanation, but go
tell
ahead.
you,
More.
let me tell you the story of this 4-year-old.
Yeah, I was gonna actually ask you about that because you made this connection
Mhm.
between the hospice 4-year-old.
In my experience in
So just
Jerusalem.
tell us about this 4-year-old. I would love that.
So I learned more working in this children's hospice program
Mhm.
than I think I gave them.
Yeah.
And I was working with this little 4-year-old child, and she kept on saying to me, I'm not afraid to die. And I'd say, really? She said, yeah, my parents are really afraid, but
Hmm.
I want you to tell them I'm not afraid.
Hmm.
I said, well, why aren't you not afraid? She said, because I know that I am loved.
Mm.
She said, I know that whatever happens is good.
Mm.
And then she said, and I'm going to draw you, this was the most amazing part. She said, I'm going to draw you a picture of where I'm going.
Mm.
And I said, okay, great. I actually did that with all the kids in the unit.
Yeah.
And what was astonishing is they almost all, without seeing each other's pictures, they almost all drew the same picture.
Wow.
Yeah. So she drew me this beautiful picture of a paradise, it was just gorgeous, with flowers and angels and this beautiful white house. And she said, this is where I'm going to live. So you need to tell my parents how happy I'm going to be. I know they're going to be sad.
Yeah.
She said, I know they're going to be sad, but they don't need to be
Mm.
because I will be with them. I
Yeah.
will always be with them. And, she told me the story, and we did this little ceremony around her bed with her parents. And um, it was the most peaceful transition of all the transitions that I got to witness. Um, and yes, her parents were very sad, and yes, they cried, and yes, they went through a grief. But I always remembered her sense of surrender
Mm.
and her sense of deep peace in
Hmm.
knowing that there's more to this life than just our time here.
Hmm.
And that hope that she gave me
Yeah.
that everything was going to be okay. Because when you think about a child dying, it has a very different impact than, my 95-year-old grandmother, who I miss and I love, and who is an inspiration in my life. But it's a different kind of grieving than when a child dies at a young age. And to hear her wisdom
Hmm.
about life,
Yeah.
about herself, about her compassion for
Yeah.
her parents,
Yeah.
the people that were going to be left behind, was it was it was awe-inspiring.
Mm.
And when I went through this transformation in Jerusalem and experienced this sense of oneness, this sense of unity, it was like, yes, that's what she was talking about. That's what gives your heart the peace that no matter what's going on the outside, you live in peace. And then I understood my name. I mean, I had to work to get there.
You went, oh, okay, I see.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to live into it sometimes.
Sometimes, yes.
Uh, what a beautiful story. Just, it's moving me to tears. And I feel like as a grief guide, I'm an advocate of tears, just
Oh,
really
thank you.
having to advocate for folks because I tell people, you don't know. I mean, so countless people have apologized to me for crying. I'm so sorry I'm crying. I'm sorry I'm crying. It's like,
You know
well,
what you can tell them now?
uh-huh.
What I tell people, because I grew up with a mom that said, "Don't cry, don't cry, don't
Yep.
cry," right? Out of love. But then I read many years ago now, probably 25 years ago, I read a study, it may have been longer than that. I read a study that the National Institute of Health in Washington, D.C. did on tears. And
Yeah.
what they found is that when we cry, do you know about this study?
I
If you
Tell us,
you
yeah.
think so, you probably do, but just to tell your audience, what they found in this study is that when we cry, toxins are actually released from our body.
Mhm.
So it's actually purifying. I was so excited. I immediately called my mom and I said, "Hey, mom, guess what?" And the best part of the study is something that Bernie Siegel wrote in his book, that when we laugh so hard that we cry, which is one of the things I'd love to do, is a
Yeah.
good laugh. It just makes me cry. We actually are releasing even more toxins.
Yes. Yeah, we get it on both ends, both
Yes,
ends. Yeah.
both.
Yeah. So it's so good. It's just like that movement, right? The waters are healing. Uh,
Absolutely.
and and if we can surrender to either the tears or the laughter,
Hmm.
it does release.
And that's what I found. I'm sure you have too, that when I'm working with, whether it's a grieving parent or a grieving child who lost a parent, um, one of the things that's helpful is when we do the memories of some of the funny times, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it creates a balance in the nervous system
Yeah.
that helps in our healing.
Yeah. There was this magical thing that happened. I got into grief work because I went through a year-long, very intentional grief walk after my dad died in 2012. And it's I inherited his laptop computer, which now
Mhm.
I've gotten a new computer, but it's still somehow connected. It still calls me Gil Cormier. Like I can't make it my own. It's still like the lineage of his technology has stayed. But because I inherited all of his files and all of his documents that keep, you know, the
Mhm.
intelligent cloud, like move them
Mhm.
all over, whatever. There was one video that somehow I found of him, and it was like a clip that was 5 seconds long. And it
Mhm.
was him in the dining room laughing so hard, like slapping his leg, laughing and crying so hard. And I think his sister was there making him laugh, and and I don't know where I found it. And I played it over and over and cried and laughed and cried. And then it was gone. I can't find
Uh,
it anywhere.
uh,
So it is I mean, it's such a gift remember those funny things and laugh. And we need both. We need
too. And
tears of,
sometimes when we're grieving, we don't give ourselves permission
yeah,
to laugh and to enjoy life.
yeah. And it's so important. And it's the joy doesn't need to be siloed for some future time when you're no longer grieving.
Mhm.
And it's important for us to just say that consciously and just tell ourselves that, because I've had folks who I've worked with who, because of their religious tradition or their family tradition, or, oh, I need to, my mother's wearing black and not wearing any makeup, and you know
Mhm. Mhm.
we're supposed to be
Right.
miserable for a good long time. It's like, well, you can feel those things, but you can also feel joy and pleasure and gratitude, and you know they can they
They
can all,
can go hand in hand.
yeah. So someone needed to hear that, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. So will you tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing currently in the world?
Yeah.
And well, yeah, just I'll leave it at that.
So the our guide asked us to set up a university.
Hmm.
It's a very unique university, to really teach about not only about Sufism, but help people have professions where they're bringing spirituality into their profession. So it's no longer, here's my spiritual life and here's my work life, right? But
Yeah.
they're kind of integrating.
Hmm.
It's that wholeness, that oneness, that
Hmm.
unity that I was talking about in the beginning. So many of us got together and figured out how to set up a university.
Hmm.
It's called the University of Sufism and also spiritual healing. And we train healers who want to learn more about spiritual Sufi healing.
Okay.
We train people who need healing, who have a variety of different diseases or are grieving or just feel something's missing in my life. I don't know exactly what it is, but I need something more.
Yeah.
And we teach them a lot of self-healing techniques and basically how to be more loving and merciful and compassionate in their lives.
Hmm.
And the third is people who are just spiritual seekers,
Hmm.
want to get closer to God.
Hmm.
And those are the three people that we tend to serve at the university.
Hmm.
It's actually a degree program. So we offer master's degrees.
Hmm.
One of probably the degree that may be the most interesting for your audience, we offer a degree, a master's degree in living and dying in dignity.
Hmm.
And it's helping people live fully and also die with dignity and help to train hospice workers, caregivers, and other people that are working with people either in the dying stage or in the grieving stage and looking at the Sufi principles and how they help support finding peace within your heart, finding the love, having more compassion for others and for yourself, and holding on to your dignity.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just something that a lot of people forget. It's
Yeah.
that beauty that they're talking about.
Yeah.
In our other programs, we have Masters of Divinity in Spiritual Ministry,
Hmm.
where people work in hospitals as chaplains or in hospice programs, or just what I like to say is just doing the day-to-day life of a minister, whether you're in the supermarket, whether you're meeting somebody on the street, whether somebody calls you up on the phone with an emergency and just needs a listening ear.
Yep.
We also have a master's degree in peacemaking, not only how to find peace within, but how do you find peace within your family, and then in your family, in your community, and in the world.
Hmm. And
And
you.
you don't need to take the whole master's degree program
Hmm.
and come in for various different courses. So we have a beginning foundations course that probably meets about every 2 months. We just finished one recently, and that just gives you a little experience of what you might have when you come to the university and study more deeply.
Yeah.
And then we have like standalone courses where you just can take a course and learn a little bit more about the path or the bath to love. Dive into that. I'm going to use that from now on. I love it.
Love.
Diving into that ocean of love so that you carry that beautiful message out into the world of your light. And given all that's going on in the world right now, we need lots of people who are just sending light, really helping us be kinder to each other, be more compassionate to each other, learning how to love, learning how to come out of separation, learning how to accept.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so needed, and it's maybe simple but not easy, or you
Yeah,
know.
say the Sufi principles are very easy in the technique, but the walking, because we also, I love the title of your podcast, because we also say it's a walking, the Sufi path is a walking the Sufi path, but that walking isn't always easy.
Right. You got to find the right shoes. You got blisters. You got you got sore legs.
And we say the importance of a guide is that a guide's walk the path. So a guide can help you with some of the bumps in the roads that
Hmm.
come along
Yeah.
because they've been there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like a lot of the folks that are coming to you, whether they're just seekers or they really want to act in more of a professional capacity with a master's,
Mhm.
behind their name. Um, it sounds like they're real lifelong learners, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Um, and for someone listening, like in your foundations course, let's just take that for example. If someone were to come in and take your foundations course and they're feeling really challenged by, they might understand intellectually
Mhm.
that somehow the world is reflected in me and I'm reflected in the world. And if I'm at peace, then my family's at peace, then the neighborhood's at peace, and the world's at peace. And they're looking at the violence in the world
Mhm.
and they're going, well, how can I make a difference? Or, maybe they want to feel this compassion and this path of love and this bath of love, but there's a there's a real sense of depression or hopelessness. Like,
Mhm.
what might you say to that person?
You know, one of the things that's really important in our work is your connection, or what we call your alignment with God, the Most High, the divine, something greater than yourself, whatever you want to call it. And that's one of the first things that we teach in our foundations course is how to have that alignment, how
Mhm.
to have that connection. The 5 C's program that we're offering as a free talks about that. It talks about consciousness and how do you take your consciousness to a higher level by
Mhm.
making that connection with something greater than yourself. And we have different practices in even that free offering called the 5 C's that your audience has a chance to experience. We have a little workbook that goes along with it, as well as audio tapes that will give people an opportunity to see what it's like to have that connection,
Mm. Mhm.
right? So that's
And
the first step. And then there's an awareness. Most people, and I have to say for myself, I was one of them. I grew up in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We see the world mostly through our mind and our intellect.
Mhm.
And it's a very, Sufism offers a different perspective because you're taking a deep dive into your heart
Mhm.
and what's happening, not your physical heart, but your spiritual heart,
Mhm.
so that larger area
Yeah.
of what's happening in my heart. We say there's a beautiful Sufi quote. It's you. Um, you think you're a small star, but in fact, you comprise the entire universe.
Mhm.
It it also goes along with I was a hidden secret that desired to be known.
Mhm.
So I place the treasures inside the heart of my beloved. So
Mhm.
I like to say we go on a treasure hunt to find those jewels and treasures that
Mhm.
are placed within our heart. And that starts with awareness of where is my consciousness? What am I paying attention to? Am I
Mhm.
paying attention to my intellect that's going to tell me this or that?
Mhm.
Or am I really listening to that deep, still, small voice inside my heart of truth and wisdom and
Mhm.
guidance to
Mhm.
support me in my life?
Mhm. Yeah, really beautiful. And so when you too hear that deep, small voice, um, what would a practice be for someone, or what would a practice be that you teach to hear that?
Yeah. So the first is one of my favorites. And it's, I'm sure your audience knows a lot about sound and vibration
Mhm.
and the effect that sound and vibration has. In my days as a special ed teacher, I used to love this because a lot of my boys were, I don't know, just learning was not their favorite thing. So it got put on the shelf. So we had to start 13, 14, 15-year-old boys with the basics of phonetics. And when I teach them the ah sound,
Mm-hmm.
which is the beginning of this practice of moving into your heart, they would say to me, Miss A, you got a problem here. And I'd say, oh, what's your problem? They said, we say that I sound and all this stuff in our heart and we don't want to look at. Forget it. How come those other sounds you teach us, they don't have that effect on our heart? Truth from children. That's why I love working with children. You'll, you'll get truth like you've never heard truth before when you're working with kids.
Oh,
But
ah
it's
sounds specifically that'll get us to the.
specifically the ah sound opens the heart. And the more that you repeat that ah sound, it takes you deeper and deeper into your heart. And what we say in Sufism is you may experience different pictures, different images, different illusions, like the picture I had about my Sufi master. Oh, Sufi sheikhs don't hug women. Oh, we have different illusions,
Yeah.
right? Oh, I believe I'm not peaceful. Different beliefs that we hold that
Right.
sit within our heart that influence how we see the world.
Mhm.
And part of the self healing that we teach through the Sufi system of healing is being able to recognize those, then using this ah sound, which with another sound, which is the law,
Mhm.
which begins to ground it in the earth. One of the things that I love about Sufism is I was on a meditation path, as you may have guessed from all my tours in India. And I loved my meditation. I closed my eyes, everything was glorious. And then I'd have to open my eyes and go out and live in the world.
Right.
And the dichotomy between the two was drastic. And what I discovered in Sufism was it's not just about closing my eyes and being with the one,
Mm.
it's being in the world with the one,
Yeah.
right? And that was the real transformation for me, right? I
Yeah.
knew how to meditate. I knew how to go to all kinds of beautiful higher consciousness states and had beautiful experiences, but it really didn't affect my life in the world,
Right.
right?
Right. So how to integrate it into your life is the.
And this sacred name for God that we use in Sufism, which is Allah, which
Mhm.
has lots of pictures in the media about it, right? So you might need to get through your pictures. But that word, it actually means the one.
Mhm.
And you're connecting to that oneness that connects to us all. You're connecting to that one God,
Mhm.
right? Or
Mhm.
that one love, if you will, if you don't believe in God.
Yeah.
Because Sufism isn't dependent on any particular belief system. We've had Episcopal ministers that have been through our program. We've had rabbis that have been through our program. I've worked with Orthodox Jews for many years,
Mm.
and love is love. It transcends
Yeah.
God, right?
Love is love. Yeah.
Love is love.
Yeah. Gosh, thank you so much. I know our time is it's just kind of flown by coming kind of to the end of our time together. I'm wondering, you know, in that in that vein of wanting to bring that essence of love and peace into our world, into our homes, into our relationships, to the grocery store, meeting strangers. Um, is there a perspective that you can offer people, or I don't know, there's so much I'm just noticing um, just a heightened sense, maybe it's on social media, of people really being attached to their intellect and being
Mhm.
attached to this way or that way, being really defensive of their ideas and their views, and that even just one reactive comment on a social media can create lots of ripples
Absolutely,
of
yes.
pain, right? So,
Mhm,
I mean, one thing that's coming to my mind is, how can we bring in a practice of simply pausing
mhm.
before reacting, right? But are there a couple of practical things you might share for folks that might be really feeling the challenge of being in
Mhm.
in their
Yeah,
defensiveness in their mind, in this moment of time?
one of the things that I love to remind people of, because Sufism is really a path of remembering,
Yeah,
remembering who we are in our essence, and being reminded.
yeah,
And that's the beauty. It's not a path we do all by ourselves, right? We
yeah.
have support. And the reminder that I love to give people is you can be right or you can be in love.
Mm,
Your choice. What do you choose?
mm-hmm.
That alone can help change our perspective,
Mm,
right?
yeah. And I've heard that you can be right or you can be happy,
You
right?
can be
You
right
can
or
be
you
right.
can be in love.
Yeah. And that I love that so much more. I
I've
really.
given that to married couples who
Mhm.
come for marriage counseling.
Uh-huh.
And that alone, I said, for 1 week, I want you to just abandon the I'm right and say yes to your partner no matter what they want.
Mhm.
And just notice what changes in the relationship.
Mhm.
Choose love.
Yeah.
Choose love. We have free choice.
Yeah.
We have free will.
Yeah.
So choose love.
Beautiful. Gosh, that feels like a perfect way to close to close us today. Thank you so much, Salima, for bringing your peaceful heart, bringing a bathtub filled with love, the universal bath of love, the path of love that we walk. Um, and we'll make sure to put in the show notes the link to the offering,
Mhm.
the 5 C's,
Mhm.
and I believe that's free, and folks
That's it. Mhm.
access that. So we'll leave the link. And then is there any other way folks can stay in touch with you? Do you want to leave a social media handle or a website or anything else that you want to leave folks with?
Yeah, probably the best way is for them to contact me through the university, which is very simply www.sufiu,
Okay. So spell that out. SU. Just
SUFI
huh?
dot U. I'll have Yasmin send you that link so she can put it in there. And
Is it Sufi dot u
nope, it's just sufiu
dot
dot org.
org? Okay. ORG. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Sufiu.org.
Great.
Very, very simple. And that's probably the best way to get in touch with me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, it was just a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for your time and your presence in your heart. And may we all choose love.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been an honor, and I wish your audience all the best. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for listening. You are a vital part of this podcast. You are why we are here. Let us close today by placing a hand on our hearts and a hand on our bellies, feeling our breath move through our bodies. May we feel connected. May we be at peace. May we be love. As we breathe, let us acknowledge that in this moment we are, in fact, alive, and this is a miraculous gift. Let's bow our heads gently to our hearts. Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing something healing and kind in this moment right now. We give great thanks. We give great thanks. We give great thanks. And it is done until next time. May you walk gently out in the world and be gentle and loving with yourself. Much love from my heart to yours, and bye for now.